Hello friends, in this video I am going to discuss fundamental rights not enumerated in part 3 of Indian Constitution. Part 3 of the Indian Constitution, which describes the fundamental rights comprehensively available for every citizen of India and also explains some rights available for foreigners. However, there are certain justifiable and enforceable rights. Those are not mentioned in part 3 of the Constitution. So in this video, I will list all those rights available somewhere else other than part 3 of the Indian Constitution. For the better understanding, I have categorized these rights as available in other parts of the Indian Constitution and made available through the Supreme Court's judgments. So now let's discuss first that is available in other parts of the Indian Constitution. So in this section I will discuss what are those rights that is mentioned in other parts of the Constitution. The first one, that is right to property, Article 300A. Second, right to contest election, Article 325. Third, right to vote, Article 326. So these three rights are the fundamental rights but not mentioned in part 3 of the Indian Constitution. Let's discuss each of them separately in brief. Right to property. Article 300A of the Indian Constitution states that no person shall be deprived of his property save by authority of law. Note, Article 300A is inserted by the 44th Amendment Act 1978. Next, right to contest election. Article 325 of the Indian Constitution states that there shall be one general electoral roll for every territorial constituency for election to either House of Parliament or to the House or either House of the Legislature of a state, and no person shall be ineligible for inclusion in any such roll or claim to be included in any special electoral roll for any such constituency on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, or any of them. So this is right to contest election. Next, right to vote. Article 326 of the Indian Constitution states that the election to the House of the People and to the Legislative Assembly of every state shall be on the basis of adult suffrage. That is to say, every person who is a citizen of India and who is not less than 18 years of age on such date as may be fixed in that behalf by or under any law made by the appropriate legislature and is not otherwise disqualified under this Constitution or any law made by the appropriate legislature on the ground of non-residence, unsoundness of mind, crime or corrupt or illegal practice shall be entitled to be registered as a voter at any such election. So this article is saying that any person in a normal circumstance won't be disqualified as a voter. So voting is another enforceable right. Note, earlier it was 21 years but it decreased to 18 years by the 61st Amendment Act 1988. Now let's discuss the second category, that is rights made available through the Supreme Court's judgments not mentioned in the Constitution. Freedom to live, freedom of the press, right to know. Let's discuss each of them separately in brief. Freedom to live. In Jagmohan Singh versus the State of Uttar Pradesh, that is UP, AIR 1973, SC 947, It is discussed that though the right freedom to live not overtly described in Article 19 of the Indian Constitution, but it is basic of all rights given in Part 3 of the Constitution. Next, freedom of the press. In Brij Bhushan and another versus the State of Delhi, AIR 1950, SC 129, it is held that the liberty of the press is an essential part of the right to freedom of speech and expression declared by Article 19(1)(a). Next, right to know, that is right to information also. In Lok Kulwal versus State of Rajasthan, AIR 1988, it is held that the citizen has a right to know about the activities of the state, the instrumentalities, the departments and the agencies of the state. However, there are certain reasonable restrictions that a state can impose. So this is all about the rights. Those are not mentioned in the part 3 of the Indian Constitution.